For the month of October, I wanted to be very particular in what kind of books I'm reading that are going to fulfill those spooky fall vibes. And the genres that come to mind are thriller, mystery, and horror. I went and I looked at some of the books that I own. I wasn't really vibing with any of them at the moment, so then I whipped out my Kindle and I was like, okay, need to look through Kindle Unlimited. What is happening with these genres and what kind of book am I interested in? And I came across If You Tell by Greg Olson, which is a non-fiction true crime thriller book. Haven't started it yet, but this is going to be the first book that I start, and it's gonna fall into my thriller category. Some books fall into multiple genres, so I'm just sticking this one into the thriller, and then later on in the videos we'll find a horror and a mystery book that I could be reading. As you saw, I started If You Tell by Greg Olson. I am currently 82% done, and it's honestly one of the most disturbing books that I have ever read. It is based on a true story. I haven't done much research on that aspect of it, just because I don't really want to know anything else until I finish this book, and then I can go in and do my research. But it's very fast-paced just because you're in shock and surprised by everything that is happening, and you're obviously concerned for the individuals and want to know how it all ends. Because I hadn't heard of this case before reading this book. So after I'm done with this today, hopefully I get to finish it, I'm going to do a little deep dive on it. I also started an audiobook by Benjamin Stevenson titled Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone. Now this is my mystery book. This one has more of a comedic side to it, and the author is very witty, since I am not the author. Well, yeah, the author because they wrote it, but also the narrator sounds really well reading this book. I think my brain is just very stuck on this book that when I'm listening to the other book, I don't quite connect. But it's been good so far. It's been fast-paced, it's funny, it's witty, so it's a good time so far. I'm also thinking of heading over to the library to get my horror book. So I didn't place any kind of order. I'm just going to be going to the library and checking them out and sort of looking at the genres and hopefully finding a horror book. So far it's been really good just reading. I again haven't been able to keep this book out of my mind. Every single day and every single second I'm thinking about it because it's so disturbing. But I'm almost done with that, and I'm going to move on to the horror book, and then hopefully around the same time finish that horror book and this audiobook. So having a great time so far, and I'll take you with me to the library. I finished If You Tell by Greg Olson and ended up giving that book 4 stars, and I actually researched a little bit more about the family and the occurrences, specifically on Michelle Notick, and I don't understand why I hadn't heard of this case before. Coming from someone that watches a lot of true crime documentaries, like both on YouTube and Netflix or like streaming services, obviously, I can't imagine everything that her daughters went through. And it's just a very heartbreaking case. Now, moving on from that book, Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone. From the title, it doesn't seem like it's a much lighter book, but it is. It's pretty witty and it has some comedy, like dark comedy in there. I listened to the audiobook and I've actually finished it as well. I've just been on a roll right now, and I really enjoy the narrator. I gave it a 2.5 stars. I enjoyed the plot of the story and the mystery aspect of it all. I think it was well written and the story is very fun. The confusing factor is just so many characters. I wish I had a little bit of a picture of the characters and how each of them connect to each other, because there were so many names happening, and as an audiobook I find myself not too hyper focused on it compared to when I'm reading a physical book, so I'd get lost sometimes with names or characters or who did what, and I think that affected my reading, because overall this was a really fun book. And if you're someone that doesn't really like dipping your toes into thrillers or horror books or mystery books because of that like scary, spooky aspect to it, maybe you'd enjoy this book. Moving on to our third and final book of this vlog is Middle of the Night by Riley Sager. Now, I've read many Riley Sager books before, and I think I've come to the conclusion that he may be my favorite thriller horror author because I've read so many of his books. Now, I'm not gonna say that every single one of his books have been 5 stars for me. No, there's been some that have been 4, 5, 2 maybe. But the thing with his writing or his books is that whatever you're reading, it's going to be entertaining and it's going to be fast-paced. And I love that. I love that when it comes to horror thriller books or any kind of book at all, because it feels really, really motivating finishing a book. And so I've started Middle of the Night, and so far it's giving 5-star vibes. It really is, because I'm really into the story. I'm already picturing it. I'm creating a movie in my head, and I'm in it. I'm in it for the ride, and I'm really excited to see how it goes and how the story develops.